the ball moves a lot more. So it makes everyone a threat and a lot tougher to guard.
Do you notice similarities in how you're used here and how he's using Evan?
For sure, 1,000%. But Evan's 7 feet. I was talking to Steph about that. He's doing. I was telling Steph before a quarter, I feel like they just beat us with what we beat teams with for years. And they got Evan Mobley in the pocket. And I'm like, I know their guards shot more. There are some similarities, but he's 7 feet. It's a little different.
So they be Golden State East?
You got to win championships before you can be any Golden State anything.
Is there, I agree, is there a similarity to how you guys played 14, 15, 15, 16, and how they're playing now?
100%. Just the ball movement, guys flying around. They're so intentional about the extra pass, and that is a staple, for us. The drive, quick swing is what we've preached for years, and they diced us up with it tonight.
Last year, they just seemed like real pick and roll heavy.
A lot easier to guard last year. A lot tougher to guard this year.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Great locker room guy, great teammate, competitor. He's a dog. He didn't have any of the what you call it, attributes that would jump off the page. But he's just a hooper. He knows how to get to his spots. Ultimate confidence in himself. And you can kind of play him with any lineup, and he usually figures it out. He helped us so much 2 years ago. The game he had here that year is probably a good reason why he's here now. Just, he understands it's time to play. He hoops and he gets it done.
Yeah, I mean, the ankle braces, obviously, those came from you. Did he ask you for those recommendations?
I should have got equity in the company back in the day, because I think people ask around, trying to figure out what the company is and all that. I've seen them. Trae wears them. D.Fox wears them. I've seen a bunch of guys trying to pick up on that. They're not the best to look at aesthetically, but they keep you right.
When you're dealing with those injuries like you did early on in your career, what's the key to making sure that you get through that and you still become the player that you know you can be?
You don't lose confidence in yourself. You just want to be healthy. It's harder. You're gonna have days of doubt. How long it's gonna take and all that. And then when you get back, you have to continue the boring stuff that most people don't see. Rehab and strengthening work has to be a new part of your routine on a daily basis. It's not fun, but it's worth it.
Curious, as somebody who spent 3 years around Kenny Atkinson, where do you see his influence on these Cavs? What reminds you of a Kenny team?
When they play with pace, defensively they were pretty aggressive. I mean, they have a different identity than we have with Mobley and Jarrett Allen in the paint. So they try to play aggressive on the perimeter to feed everybody into the paint. But offensively, they're moving around. They're pretty organized. He was in charge of our offense those last 2 years, or 3 years maybe. And the organization and feeding into your strengths of your team matter, and you have to buy into it. And like they are, obviously, nobody's figured them out yet. So 10 games in, you see.
How do you describe him as a coach?
He's aggressive. He's a bulldog. Look at his basketball career, playing at Richmond, and just was like the scrappy kind of guard that had to figure it out. Very, not different than Ty we were talking about, but very similar kind of competitiveness that spirit you have to carry, and he's brought that in the coach, and he's not afraid to have tough conversations. He's get on you, the accountability. I know that they're enjoying some fresh blood here, and it seems to be working.
Is there anything that you think he really kind of left his mark with you guys on?
We've had a lot of great assistant coaches that come through, from Alvin Gentry, Luke Walton, Mike Brown, Kenny, guys that were head coaches either before, but really understand how to communicate and build trust within a locker room, make adjustments on the fly throughout a season that are important, and you just have confidence that they do the work, that they watch film, they live it, breathe it every single day, and there's a care factor that you just feel, and that buy-in is easy to follow after that.
Steve Kerr was saying that he really united the analytics with the coaching staff. Did you see that pay off?
That's the stuff we don't see as much. Okay. The meetings they have upstairs and how they synthesize that information and bring it down to us in film sessions and our approach and all that. I think a lot of it was around the process. He had this expected score thing based on advanced analytics and shots. Their expected score tonight, they outshot that like crazy. We didn't, but he was always about the process. Like, can you make them take the shots you want them to take? And over the course of 82, if that happens, you should be in good position to win a lot of games. Sometimes teams are going to outplay their patterns. Sometimes they're not, but try to control as much as you can on the court. And yeah, how he talked upstairs and all that, I didn't hear much of that.
I know it's so early. Can you size up how good do you think the Cavs are? I mean, are they just really hot, or are they, under Kenny, a really good team?
Well, they beat us by 40 and a half. And you are as good as your record says you are, so they're pretty damn good right now.
Steph, for Klay's return, it was announced that they're going to have captain hats for the fans. What do you think that's going to mean to him, and can we expect to see you walking in with a captain hat?
We got one more game in OKC, and then all the eyes will be on Klay. So over the course of the next 5 days, it'll be very emotional for sure, just understanding the celebration that he deserves. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I think we're doing our best to acknowledge all he meant to our organization, the championships, the memories. But when we get to that, I'll acknowledge it more.
All right, we got to catch a bus.
Normally wasn't tied before, and I know in Golden State he was very pass first, but he's really upped his aggressiveness, and he could score the ball. He knows he's playing off the ball a little more than maybe he's used to. So, and he's had that mentality since he came in the gym in August. Just I'm going to be more aggressive, and then he's really done a great job in the performance room, taking care of his body. He just gave us a big spark tonight, obviously.
I know, obviously, a lot of things went right in that first half, but what do you point to as the biggest success of that half?
All the things we talked about turning them over. If we pressure them, they're a team that will turn it over, and we did that. And then keep them off the offensive boards. They're fourth in the league in offensive rebounding. So we took care of those two things, and we got out on the break. Second half was like the opposite. It was like, and I was we talked to the guy, like our standards have to be higher, right? Like great first half, can't play much better than that. But second half, the way we came out, they scored 13 points in the first 3 minutes. I'm a coach. It's like, it was a little frustrating, and I mean they're a hell of a team. So it's a little bit to be expected, but I think it went kind of over that, and we got really stagnant. We weren't moving the ball. We just started putting our head down. They're too good to do that.
Coach Isaac had a lot of good shots in the first half, and he's not a guy that a lot of teams have given credit for that. How important is that? How good can this team be when he's knocking down shots on top of what he does on the defensive end?
You could argue that's what sparked everything, right? They were obviously shifting off him, and teams do that. But if he can make them pay with our pressure on the rim, the way we drive it, if he's an outlet and can make threes like he's making them, and they sure look good out of his head. I know they're going in, and that's like maybe a cliche, but they look good getting out of his hand. I think his arc has improved. He's getting the ball up, not missing short. So that was a big boost for us. His shooting is really important for our spacing.
I think you guys had 22 of your 28 makes assisted on in the first half. Just how does that shift the defense when you guys are able to move the ball so quickly and also spread them out more?
Yeah, and we knew they're protect the paint first at all costs, so we knew that coming in. But something we worked on it in shoot around this morning, just driving into the paint, drive, kick, swing. That's kind of our motto, and thought we did a hell of a job in the first half. Second half, not so good.
Sam.
Kenny, it seemed like you talked about second half, how you hadn't gotten stagnant. Darius came back in the game and really seemed to give you guys new life. What's it say about him, just the season he's having so far?
What a season. You know, and he defended Steph, you know, I thought it did a darn good job. So he's doing it on both ends. Listen, it got a little dicey there, right? We were getting a little nervous. We got him in the game, and he kind of closed the door. So he's playing great basketball.
Mike.
You look at the box score, Coach. 20 for 41 from three again. It's 10 games now, but it's the same story. You guys are making essentially every year. Are you at the point where you're almost surprised when guys are missing because of how well you guys have shot to start the year?
I get mad when we miss threes now. Come on, we got to make that. No, I mean we have a lot of good shooters on the roster, right? Like and the way we're, like I say, the way we're collapsing the paint. You know, we're I think top 6 or something in rim attempts. You know, top in drive. So we're getting downhill. I'd like to think those shots are coming in rhythm, right? They're not you know, all off the dribble threes. We're catching them in rhythm, but you know. That's why you score, you know, whatever 80 points in the first half when you shoot like that. Hopefully we can keep it going.
And Dean obviously played tonight, but Isaac stayed in the starting lineup. Was that just the result of how well he played last couple?
Yeah, I think it's just stick with what's working. And you know, Dean was under the weather, so it was also like, man, we had to restrict his minutes a little bit. But it was more about Isaac. Isaac is in a great place right now.
Kenny, how do you describe the impact that Ty has made on this team early this season, especially that second group?
He's playing great basketball. You know, he's like he's a cerebral quarterback. He really reads the defense really well. But the scoring piece is the one, like I said before, that's what's surprising me. Like I knew he came in with a more aggressive mentality. I was like, man, will this translate? But he's really looking to score, and you know, we need it sometimes, right? Darius and they you know, and Don, they can, you know, to have another ball, and you got Karras too. Now you got 4 ball handlers out there, and I love how aggressive Ty's being with this 3-point shot.
Coach, obviously offense was clicking tonight. Can you talk about your defense on Curry and their shooters?
Yeah, I thought it was, like I said, first half like really good, and then second half slipped a little bit. I was really concerned, obviously about Steph, but really concerned about their offensive rebounding too. And I thought we were pretty disciplined on Steph. Did a real good. They got a couple slips on us, but overall a really good job. You know, we put Isaac on Draymond so we could pressure the ball, right? It's almost like football, like pressure the quarterback. Don't let him be a playmaker, and then kept Darius, you know, Darius on Steph. I thought that helped us.
And then just from a coaching standpoint, what is the challenge with dealing with a lead that big that early?
I know. Well, obviously I did a terrible job. You know, we talked about it, how like, come on, let's keep our standards up, and just. And then you know, you have a team with a lot of pride over there, and that's an NBA team, an excellent NBA team. You knew they were going to make a run, but all that being said, I was disappointed how we came out, how our starters came out, and those first 5 minutes, and then we couldn't get it going. And like you said, you know, someone said Darius came in and I thought picked us back up and helped us get the win.
Spencer Davies, Cavs on SI. Looking at the way that you guys put pressure on the rim, not only just the threes that were going in the first half. I mean, 24-28 from the free throw line, that's big time just to convert on those opportunities, and Evan was 9-10. Just the way that you guys were both able to attack on the perimeter and also on the interior.
Great balance. Yeah, great balance, and it's good. You know, we got to the free throw line tonight. That I thought Evan was downhill all night, and you know, it's Draymond and Looney. Like, it wasn't, you know, those are 2 big time defenders, but his agility, his ability to handle the ball, change direction. You saw we were running those inverted pick and rolls for him, where he's basically acting like a point guard, right? And Sam would come set it, and he, you know, could throw it back or get downhill. So we got to use that more, because it's it's an elite skill of his. He's really a hybrid, this like kind of new hybrid big that can play pick and roll. He can, he can be a screen and roller. Really, what a versatile player.
And I've been meaning to ask you this because a lot of people look at 5 out and think the spacing is the most important thing. Can a cutter and that off-ball movement be as important as 3-point shooting spacing?
You're right. You're right with me. Yes, and it's a big emphasis. That was, I think, if you said talk about tweaks, what we've tweaked is I think the old NBA was space. Everyone kind of stand and one guy play pick and roll. Now it's a lot more ball, a lot more cutting. I think we're top 5 in cuts. Points per possession wise, we're up there too. We hurt them tonight with our cutting. It's hard to defend. When guys are moving and it's intentional, right? There's shared principles on how we cut. So cutting opens up space. I think the old way of thinking was like, oh, doesn't cutting getting away? But it actually creates vacuums and creates driving lanes. So it's a big point of emphasis for us.
Last one, Ashton.
Coach, I know it's early in the season still, but still this is a team that has gotten 10 wins already, only undefeated team in the NBA. I mean, it seems like week to week we're still talking about this, but what's it say about this team in general?
Yeah, I mean, 10-0 is something. It's a little bit of a kind of magic number, right? 10 and we're playing really good basketball, and just really pleased where the group is, and I was worried about tonight. They were 7-1 and they're rolling, and like we're not. They're coming in here, they're champions. They're going to try to kind of knock our block off, and the way we came out tonight, and that surprised me how ready we were, how hungry we were, and the 10-0, it's pretty unbelievable job by our guys.